Well, I'm not sharing my bed. Hi everyone, it's Aurora and welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you are new. Hello, if you're wondering why I am in my dressing gown on my bed and cuddling a plushie, it's because for this month's Trope Talk we are doing There's Only One Bed. Right, thank you for that, Koosh. This is Koosh, everyone. Say hello, Koosh. Right. Pop you back there, madam. And I'm going to get this off because it is roasting. Now, for the uninitiated, for Trope Talk, we will talk about what a trope is, why it works, why people like it, and then talk about the tropes that it pairs well with. Yeah, kind of like a little sort of wine pairing type jobby, and trying to make it sound more than it is. And then, wrap it up in a neat little bow conclusion, go about and have a lovely rest of our day. Right, so let's start out. What is it? So, There's Only One Bed is actually more of a micro trope because it will not carry throughout a book in the way that, say, Grumpy Sunshine would. And it falls under the umbrella of forced proximity, which is something we have touched on in the past. I did a whole trope talk on it a couple of months ago. I will link that down below if you want to go and check that out. So, what is it exactly? Well, the clue is in the name. It is when the two love interests discover there is only one bed and they're gonna have to share. Because no one considered sleeping on the floor. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of the crux of it. Maybe there is a reason one of them can't sleep on the floor. I've actually only read one book with this trope. I was trying to remember if the Fake Out had a bit of a only one bed moment, and it kind of does, but yeah, I wouldn't class it as the only one bed trope. So, yeah, it is literally that. It is just a forced proximity of there only being one bed. Now, why does it work? Well, it's the same reason people like it. Because when you see that there is only one bed and they are suddenly going to have to be sharing, you kind of know what comes next, because whether it is a fade to black or whether we are getting a spicy scene, there is a good chance that these two are going to be doing the horizontal shuffle. Now, occasionally they don't, and they just happen to wake up wrapped around each other, clean like a pair of limpets, which is also really cute. The whole thing of Only One Bed is a great way to push a couple who are maybe struggling to get from being friends or enemies or whatever it happens to be into being, physical with each other, or at least physically closer. It literally physically pushes them closer together because they're in a bed. It's, this many feet by this many feet. There is not a lot of places to hide. Funny story, my partner actually bought like a thing to put down the middle of the bed so I would stop taking over it. Bear in mind, he's 6'5" and I'm 5'2". Anyway, yeah, short people will take over a bed, and let's face it, all FMCs are usually about this big. So, actually, they're usually my height. Anyway, so yeah. It's great because you are forcing these two together into a closer proximity, and yeah, it is just that, like, we know they're gonna get closer, and it's that one step closer to them becoming physical or a couple. And it will depend on the book. Obviously, if it's a fade to black, we'll go straight to the next morning. Otherwise, if they're just falling asleep together, they will just fall asleep and wake up the next morning. And it's got a little bit of mileage in it. It can go one of two ways, which is another nice thing. There's no like, it's definitely going from A to B. It could go in a couple of directions, which we like it. So that said, we know what it is. We know why people like it. What does it pair well with? Well, I think Friends to Lovers is a really good one for this because they're friends. We know they like each other. We know they get on. They know they like each other. They know they get on. They just don't know how much they like each other yet. So to suddenly have them with only one bed pushes that little bit further, that suddenly they are waking up either cuddling, having the most amazing night's sleep of their life. Because, by the way, this is always preceded by the best night's sleep of their life. Unless, of course, they're doing the beast with two backs, in which case they didn't sleep too much. But yeah, it is always preceded by that. So Friends is a great one because, yeah, it's pushing that a little bit further. It is a great way to move a plot along. Enemies to Lovers, it can actually also be a really good one because, again, it's forcing them to physically encompass a tiny space and they wake up all snuggled up and it's lovely. Honestly, it's a trope that actually works with a lot. You know, it can work with Grumpy Sunshine, it can work with Black Cat Golden Retriever. You kind of name it. There isn't really one that comes to mind for me where it doesn't work. I could be wrong here. If you think there is one where it doesn't really work, do leave it in the comments below because we love to share, you know, share opinions. You know, I don't want to be the arbiter of all what works and doesn't around here. It's too weird. It's too much pressure. So, yeah, it is a very versatile little trope. I don't think it should be in every book. It's got to fit in some way. Now, I did say I've only read it in one, really, and that was The Christmas Tree Farm by Laurie Gilmore. And it worked because the house was so frigging cold. The only room that wasn't like Arctic levels was the living room, and they just had a mattress on the floor and a fire going in like a little thing, and it was very romantic and it was very lovely, and it did work because they had to share that bed because, one, he couldn't get home, two, it was too freaking cold to not be in that room, and three, it was too freaking cold not to be sharing body heat. So sharing a bed made perfect sense. You know, I did say it kind of comes up in The Fake Out, which is book 4 of Vancouver Storm. And that was because they'd gone away and they were the team were travelling, and because everyone thinks that Volkov and Georgia are married, it was like, well, of course we booked you a room with only one bed. Where else are you going to be? But I think he slept in like a sofa or something. So I think that's about all I've got for you today. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to probably do a poll for next month's Trope Talk. Next up, we are going to have ways to sit your butt down and write if you are struggling. And yeah, right, thank you for watching to the end. It does mean the absolute world to me. Do give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts. And yeah, if you have not subscribed, do subscribe if you want to see more of me. I talk about tropes once a month. I just talk about books in general. I am going to try and do a bit more vlogging stuff. I have got a few ideas I'm considering. And yeah, we just talk about writing around here. So have a lovely rest of your day, your week, your evening, whatever. And I will see you next time. Take care, guys. Bye.